Hey guys, welcome in. Good to see you. This is going to be episode 2 of Split Screen Podcast, kind of a video game podcast that we all, four good friends started to have a good time. So we're going to be discussing all sorts of different topics today, specifically EA Sports College Football 26 and the deep dives that they've gone in with that. An NES emulator that lets you play the games in 3D. Yeah, you heard that correctly. And more to talk about. So strap in. We're going to get into it. All right, welcome in everybody. Good to see you. So with the introduction that the crew that we normally have, and hopefully we'll have, we almost were one short today, but luckily things worked out. Miracles, Jesus worked his magic and here he is today. Dan, I want to say welcome. We almost didn't have you for the second episode. Would have been a long episode. And so how are you? What's going on? What have you been playing lately?
Doing good. Been playing Night Rain and RuneScape pretty much. Been the two things filling the time.
Again, RuneScape, it's not the
RuneScape.
Old school. That's right. There you go. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Which is saved code. They've started from a 2007 save file.
Fantastic. Very, very cool. I know you love that. You're always dipping your toes in it. John, how are you, buddy? How's everything going? What have you been playing lately?
Going well. It's been a good week in this heat wave that we've had here. I've been playing, we're into the Car Dealer Simulator and Contractville are the two that I'm going back and forth in at the moment. Actually,
that's our favorite.
Sort of. I think I'm getting towards the end game in Car Dealer, so I may only have just a few more episodes of that to record unless some more updates start coming our way.
Yeah, ran out of cars to sell, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, ran out. Yep, the market dried up.
Yeah. It's fantastic. How is recording, by the way? Is it going well? You still enjoying it as much as like when you started?
I am. Yes, I am thoroughly enjoying it. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's difficult to have a conversation with yourself while recording.
Yep.
So that's my biggest challenge. So I am navigating the idea of streaming, trying to go down that market, probably, potentially. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens.
That'll help with it.
Trying to expand LB's empire.
Hey, Andy, what about you, man? How are you? What you been playing lately, if anything? I know you're a busy man.
Doing good. Yeah, I've been playing some stuff recently. I just beat Alone in the Dark, the 2024 game.
Okay.
Got that. And it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. Kind of had some middling reviews when it came out, but I thought it was pretty good. John, you may enjoy it. It's kind of down that survival horror type realm, but there's also some mystery and discovery involved in what's going on in this house. So cool. Unfortunately, they didn't sell to whatever crazy sales numbers they wanted. So Embracer closed down the studio after the game failed. So
it's kind of Embracer's MO. So it's just what Embracer does. They're shitty like that.
Exactly.
Well, very cool.
I was able to beat that, and that was fun. I'm gonna have to find something else to finish and look at my endless backlog.
Yeah, it doesn't end. Yeah,
100%. I've been doing a lot of NBA 2K. I've been doing the My NBA,
and
I've just been like simulating and doing trades and drafts and everything. And I started in like 1990 and I'm all the way up to like 2022 now. Been pretty
shit
fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've won like 7 championships with the Bulls and Pacers each.
Yeah, let's go. Good deal.
Yeah.
Oh, good shit. Well,
speaking of the Pacers, couldn't get it done against the Thunder.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was tapped out. It felt like just kind of. It's sad to see it, right?
When Halliburton went down, it was like
the whole energy.
There was
everything.
It was
gone.
Yeah.
It was just
It's really too bad.
Wasn't the same, and
good deal.
Really wish that they could have won it for Hallie and Reggie and everybody else. But
it would have been nuts.
The great Hoosier State
would have been nuts if they would have pulled that out. Absolutely crazy. Myself, I've been kind of messing with the game. You can see it kind of behind me. It's in my newest $10 purchase for the indie scene. It's not just released or anything, but I just stumbled across it. It's called Dungeon Clawler. So if you get a chance, check it out. Think Slay the Spire with the card based, but instead of cards, you have a claw machine that drops and grabs either attacks or blocks. It's a lot of fun, ultra addicting. So if you get a chance, check it out, look at it, maybe find some gameplay on YouTube, whatever you want to do. But it's a lot of fun and very addicting. So without further ado, we're going to hop into it. I don't know if you guys had a chance. They had they released quite a few different deep dive videos on EA Sports College Football 26, which comes out in, I think, a couple weeks, to be honest with you. On the 7th, if you get the pre-order early release, July 7th, that is. And then 10th, if you just buy it, that's when the full release is, because that's what games do these days, right? There's always some kind of early access if you pre-order and get whatever digital deluxe super edition, unlimited millennium, whatever they want to use, whatever name they want to use there. So hype level for you guys real quick. I want to do a hype check for EA Sports College Football. Second game coming out in the series since it took that long hiatus. But Andy, what do you got? Hype level for me? Are you still looking forward to it?
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
Right now it's like 10.
Got you.
Me.
Nice. I love that. Good deal.
Can't wait.
What about you, John?
I'd say my hype level is cautiously at a 5. And the reason why I say it's a 5 is because last year in the length of time between 14 and then 25, we all aged and my video game skill eroded. I got older and I lost some skill. I lost a step in the football game. So, it's not like I wasn't very good to begin with. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing with my friends, enjoyed having a great time in Dynasty mode, but holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely
I do remember.
Lost a step in playing it. And so it was frustrating. It was a frustrating get back in there.
Kind of eye-opening.
It was such a, it was so fun to be back in that saddle again. And so it's like, okay, 26, like it's still a great game. It's such a fun game to get everybody together with. So it's there, but personally I'm like, my skill's not there. So
right.
that part is like takes it away from me. I
get it. Yeah, that brings down your level. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
We're not all Heisman caliber video gamers.
I understand that. Yeah, and it's one of those things where we put it on. I think we put that game on a very high pedestal, right? And the conversations that we had from 14 and the 10-year absence was like, hey, we're gonna get right back to where we were. We're gonna be, we're gonna go through 5 seasons in 2 weeks, and it's like, no, we're not. Things have changed. People have lives. We have children. We're married. Dan gets it. But like. Yeah.
Preach.
But yeah, things have changed since then. I had a good time with it. It was funny because my wife, who you guys all know, she mentioned, she's like, oh, I don't think you guys played that game for very long, because she was also around when the other one was out too. So she knows how much we played the other one. I looked up how many hours, and I still had over 100 hours in College Football 25. Right. So we was like, it didn't feel like it to even myself or even somebody else, but the numbers were there. Right. So,
because all 100 of those hours came. When's the last time you played it?
Oh man, it's been months. Absolutely months. Like I probably since college football was over. Like, honestly, I think that's kind of how it works for me though too. The sports season is going on, and then it's like, oh great, this is all fantastic. And then as soon as it's over, it's like, I kind of lost the hype even for the extracurricular activities of that game by itself. Yeah. So I think you're right. So that was what, February?
Yeah, it would have been February.
So I haven't played it in 4 months, right? So it came out. I think it gave us all that push that we wanted to. It's nice to see the game just back in general. I think it's one of those sports games that I don't mind buying college football. I like college football more. I think that's a general consensus here. I don't know if Dan, maybe you're more into the NFL than you are college football. I'm not really sure. That's hard to read. I don't know, because, I don't know if you like the Bears more, or it just depends on the year kind of a thing? I don't know how you feel about it.
Both of those sports bring me a lot of grief and a lot of pain every year.
That's
and
fair.
That's just my choice.
That's fair.
Last year was the banner year for college football for me,
Yeah,
right?
true. It was a good year.
Yeah,
You gotta
Illinois.
build on that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's what I said is, but here's what I've learned in time. There has yet to be a time where Illinois follows up a year like that with another year that's not a complete disaster. So I mean, we got to see it.
But this
The
is
Bears haven't been good for quite a while either. So really, I've
Yeah.
hated them both pretty equally.
That makes sense.
I like them both. It's just hard. It's hard to be a Bears fan and an Illinois fan.
Yeah,
all the time.
I understand. I understand. I do
Bill's-
think Illinois is
Bill's
gonna
character.
Illinois is gonna have it. Well, not to plug anything and get like a sneak peek, but OTs. But we do plan on doing a sports podcast at some point. Maybe this is just a middle entry kind of reveal, if you will. But we are going to be putting out a split screen sports podcast here soon, where a lot of these conversations are going to translate over there. We are flirting with the idea of college football 26 and doing a split screen kind of dynasty, keeping it just the four of us and having a good time and just updating one way or another. So if that interests you, stay tuned on this channel for that kind of content. So it's going to be a lot of fun there.
And y'all can see how bad I really am.
Yeah. we'll explain kind of our teams, what fan bases we're kind of a part of, and all that good stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun there. So just kind of a sneak peek into that. But with this game specifically, I wanted to revert to an article here of everybody's favorite gaming news network, you know, the New York Times, says EA Sports College Football, what's new in Dynasty? That's what I'm going to focus on. They also did deep dives on gameplay. I probably not Ultimate Team because I'm pretty sure that's the same as it is in every other one. But a couple notable things I wanted to talk about was the expanded experience. So you're going to have more things to do in your entire, you got your road to glory. You're going to be starting sooner, not just straight into college. So you're going to be able to do those high school games that we all loved from the past. So that's going to be really cool. A hidden gem that I'm actually excited for that doesn't add any gameplay stuff, and let me know what this does for you guys, is the trophy room. They're bringing the trophy room back, which I think is awesome, right? There was a place for you to go look at the shit that you've collected in the different modes. And then also they have one specific to the dynasty of the history and things that you have done as well. So I think that's really cool. I always loved the trophy room.
Back in the day when we used to play this game, you know,
I know where you're going with this.
Whatever, 11, 12, 13, you know, the Andy's trophy room. It was orange bowl after orange bowl after orange bowl after orange bowl. The man had a lifetime supply of oranges in his trophy room.
Forever.
So yeah.
He was a proud member of the ACC, and he was every single year he either got jumped or bumped out of the national championship. And this was back in the day when it was like the BCS. So you only picked two. There was no tournament. There was no playoff. There wasn't any of that stuff. So it was an ongoing joke to this day for us.
ACC was trash, so I'd play like 6-6 Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
I'd go from number 1 to number 3, Orange Bowl. The only one I lost was to Jordan.
That's right.
Fair.
I missed the last second field goal.
To be fair, they didn't fix that in college football 25 because in a dynasty where I was undefeated, Jordan jumped me. Multiple times in the top 25. He'd lose and he'd jump me. Somehow.
Yeah, ranking was a little weird in 25. Hey, but they were just getting their stuff back, right? They were just getting used to it.
It robbed me of my time.
But there's a lot of cool stuff they're adding. That expanded experience I mentioned as well. Let's see here. There's also coaching changes. Big one this year. They're adding actual coaches into the game, which has never been done, I don't think.
Yep.
In
At
the past,
college level, no.
So that's really, really cool. I think they said something of 300 coaches. Yeah. More than 300 head coaches and coordinators in the game, which is crazy.
Not Bill Belichick though.
No, never. He'll never be. He'll just be, it's, you know, it's going to be funny. It's still going to say NE coach instead of North Carolina coach, right?
Yep.
Let's see here. There's another one here. Recruiting has a big overhaul. One of the big things I wanted to point out was when you're doing recruiting in that game, this year, 26 is going to matter where that recruit is. it's going to cost you more time if you're in Indiana and running the Notre Dame school and you're going to go recruit in California. That's going to cost you more time. So, which is crazy to me, which really puts even more of a dampen on smaller schools, right? You already have less than limited time as it is. So you're telling me you have to be extremely local, which is crazy to save that time and get those recruits that you need.
To be fair, though, Notre Dame has a good foothold in California, so I would say your example should be like Notre Dame in like Washington or something.
Any of them. It doesn't.
Notre Dame in California.
It also matters if
they have a nice marriage.
If you have a pipeline there,
right? That also helps. Yeah,
of course.
Mm-hmm. But I thought that was kind of a unique twist to the recruiting aspect, where it makes sense. It takes more time to travel to the place that's further away. That's just the way it works. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Another one here was, oh man, I missed it, but they are doing, oh my goodness, I just had it. Where did it go? Oh boy. I missed it. Oh, more the scheduling,
more outfits for the coaches too. You know,
yeah, more than just two. Yeah. They also are adding, protected games this year. So, every team has two protected teams, or two protected opponents, I think is what they're calling it. Meaning where, yeah, exactly. If you pick Ohio State, that Michigan-Ohio State game is always going to be there. If you pick Notre Dame, USC, right? USC or a Michigan, but you get to choose. They're not determined for you, right? So that's going to be really, really cool where you can determine what those are. So if you do change conferences, you don't lose that rivalry. You can still get the trophies that you can add to your trophy room, which is really, really cool too. So,
Ohio State could join the ACC, but still play Michigan at the end of the season.
Exactly right. Which is what I ended up doing. I took Penn State to, I don't know which conference, because we already had somebody in the Big Ten. So I was like, well, I'll move them over.
You couldn't win. You couldn't bring a natty in Big Ten because Michigan and Ohio State were always there. And so
yeah, right. That's yeah. So I was like, well, I got to follow suit and just get the hell out of town.
Yeah.
But I just realized, Dan, I never got your hype level for it. What is it? Out of 10.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter because Illinois is going to have a good year. Just tell me.
Moved on. It's all right. I know I'm like John. I'm kind of in the middle, right? Like
I got you.
Same thing, right? The nostalgia from the last game was like, oh yeah, but it quickly wore off. Like
yeah, I got you.
It was like a month or two. I'm like, okay, like I got my fill of it again.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
3 words, Dan. Big noon kickoff.
Yeah, that's right. Don't get me started on big noon kickoff. Oh my God.
And it's just like, I mean, I want to stay cautiously optimistic because I don't want this to turn into another Madden, right? Where they just keep pumping out every year, trying to push Ultimate Team down our throats and we don't get meaningful changes, right? Like, okay, this is the first year after it, right? Cool. But like, is this just to set the groundwork for it to be like, we're going to pump this out like clockwork. We're not going to put a lot of energy and effort into it. All we want to do is cash checks off of your Ultimate Team money. Like EA has done with a lot of games.
Yeah, you're the track record's definitely there. Yeah. The track record's there. I agree, but I think the only issue I have, and they're not there yet, right? They very well
the last time they made college football, that still wasn't as big a thing as it is now.
Correct. At least not into the other sports. It was in FIFA, but it wasn't in.
As I say, like it's not this one, but are they just? Is this the start of the bait and switch? We'll give you a bunch of changes now.
I got you.
They're going to coast.
I got you. What's cool though with these deep dives, they haven't mentioned Ultimate Team, which leaves a good taste in my mouth of like, oh, they're not pushing it down your throat. I don't even know. I feel like it sells itself anymore, right? You either like Ultimate Team or you don't. And the people that do, that's what they play, right? I think for people like us in this room of the 4 of us it's a dynasty thing for me. I love the dynasty, the online dynasty. That's always been fun. I didn't even touch the Road to Glory or whatever mode they called it in the last one. I didn't even touch it. Not something that ever really interests me to play those games and do that. Maybe that changes this year, but Dynasty has always been my getting a group of us together, playing it, having fun, enjoying it that way. But I see what your point is, Dan, with Ultimate Team kind of being forced in all the other ones. And that's what they do. Madden, you and I have our frustrations with, I can only buy 3 packs with coins, right? And everything else, you have to do the Madden points or whatever it is, right? So, I feel you there. I think for me,
one
go
thing
ahead.
I saw, I don't think it's in this article scanning it, but I think today I saw something about coordinators. They're actually putting some love into your coordinators now, finally.
Oh,
And so if you have a great season, how many times have you had an undefeated season or a 1-2 loss season, and boom, your coordinators are gone? So then your next
Every time.
season you got 2 brand new coordinators, and you basically have a repeat undefeated 1-2 loss season. Recruit, your coordinators are gone. Every year. So they're finally retooling coordinators so where you can put work into keeping your coordinators.
That was a big one. That was a big one.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that they are doing. I think the people that are developing this game pay attention to college. The college game and the Madden game, they've always been 2 distinctly different games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the developers, again, coming into last year's game, worried that so much time has passed that it was almost just gonna mirror Madden.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't. It was still a different experience, and I kudos to the developers for remembering that.
100%. Yeah, it always felt like a faster experience, right? More like just a college experience, which has always been nice, and I think that's what's always the play style that's been preferred by a lot of people. I think my hype level though coming in is just an 8, 9. I mean, 10 is pretty. I'm close to a 10. I think I'm getting more and more. Obviously, the closer it gets to release, you spend 100 hours in a game and and your hype level is not that upper 8, 9, and 10. Then then I'd be lying to myself. So it's definitely there. Especially, it makes it easier too when your team is good in the game, right? Let's be honest here, right? Notre Dame is good for you guys. Illinois is actually good in this game as well because of coming off the year they had before and the people they're bringing back, which is going to be fantastic. But of course, myself as a Penn State fan, I'm like locked in, given the performance off of last year, deep into the playoffs, easy. I don't care if you want to say it was an easy path. It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to have that argument, but I am going to say they were there. They got to where they were, but then we brought back the key pieces for a lot of that success. So like, it does help when your team is good, right? So that's, I think, the case for all of us in here. It just happens to be 26 might be a really, really good year for us selfishly. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But moving off.
Also,
Go ahead.
I don't think any of us are Virginia Tech fans, but are we all going to play a game as Virginia Tech
Yes.
so we can come in to enter Sandman?
Yes, 1,000,000%. That finally being in there is going to be so good. So good. But I do hope, here's my only complaint is Mo Bamba, right, was used for Penn State. And that was like played at Penn State. And that's what they're kind of known for, right? It was used everywhere. So I'm hoping that isn't the case because this is also done on their entrance. You know what I mean? For Virginia Tech. So I'm hoping isn't just like, oh, we have it, so we're going to use it for everyone. Everybody gets it.
Yeah. No disrespect to Tulane,
right.
But I don't want to hear Enter Sandman.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
How do you know Tulane hasn't been doing that all this time, John? Do you know that?
Hey, if anybody in the comments section, if you go to Tulane, let me know.
Yeah, let us know. Has this been a new thing? Did you do it first, right?
Yep.
But yeah, like
Tulane's actually riding the lightning, John. God.
Yeah. But also I heard it at like Notre Dame and you wouldn't hear that song at Notre Dame. Like that was my whole point is like, I wish they would customize it to the experience
specific music.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. You should be known for it, but, that's enough on EA Sports college football. We're going to get it. 26 is coming in 2 weeks, roughly. Going to be a good time. I'm probably going to get the MVP edition, which is you get both games, but at a discount. I'm probably going to do that. EA Sports college football and Madden, just because why not? Because my Giants are the worst team rated in Madden. So here we go. I'm excited about that. But they've got a young team, which is going to be fantastic. I'm not going to go on Madden and talk about the Giants. It's depressing. Dan gets it.
We're not the worst this year, baby.
But another interesting topic I wanted to discuss was emulation. Do we have any emulators in here? Have you guys messed with emulation in the past? Maybe you're currently doing it.
Yep.
Have you ever messed with it? Dan, have you?
I mean, I tried. I had a friend who was helping me get a bunch of emulators
was
loaded
me.
onto a thumb drive, and then like 2 days before he gave them to me, the Xbox made it not allowed to be done
They're like,
anymore.
don't do
so-
that or we're gonna brick your console. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
trying to help you out, but they wouldn't let me do it anymore.
And then you gave me
I'm
another
not
thing
sure-
to try
I'm
on
not
my
sure
computer,
legally we should talk about this.
and then I tried to do it again.
They're all
with the
my
computer stuff,
ROMs.
and none of it worked.
Yeah.
So
That's
I've
true.
tried. It just didn't
Yeah.
work.
Yep. John,
That's
you've
true.
touched on it, right?
Every game that I emulate, I do physically own.
Yeah.
So
There's a weird, there's a
for-
weird thing behind. Yeah. If you,
for the clarity there, every game that's in my Steam library that's through emulation, I own physical. So that's my opinion on that. I
don't think the police are
and
coming for you, but I appreciate you saying that.
They're gonna have to hunt me down at Elby's.
It's gonna be ice, but for emulators. You know what I mean? They're gonna show up and like, get out, give me here.
Yeah.
Breaking news: owner of multinational conglomerate Elby's arrested on emulation piracy.
Emulation piracy charges. Yeah, they finally got him.
Shut down months long.
You're gonna put
Sting
millions out of jobs,
operation.
John. You're gonna put your whole company out of. How do you feel about that?
Because you wanted to
To
download
answer
Resident Evil 2.
That's right. To answer your question, big fan of it. And
Mhm.
as far as in the name of game preservation, I think it's
100%.
I think
I
it's
agree.
I think it's an awesome and a necessary thing.
Mhm.
So full support.
Yeah, I think emulation's pretty fantastic. There was just, speaking of, this isn't the topic I'm going to discuss, but they just ported a Mario Kart 64 to the PC, but it runs in, I think, 4K quality, but also in ultra wide monitors. And at like, I don't know, like 120 frames per second. I don't know, but I've seen footage. It's crazy, especially running on like a giant wide, ultra wide monitor. You're like, what the hell is this game?
That messes with your brain because you have an expectation of what this game should look like.
Yeah.
And then you open your eyes and
That's insane.
It's unofficial, obviously, but just waiting for Nintendo to come down and lay the hammer like they always do. So
that's enough of that.
yeah, exactly. And this also kind of leads into this topic as well. This one is the emulator that lets you play NES games in 3D has left early access on Steam, which is a wild thing to say, right? NES games, you're like, what? So also waiting for Nintendo to do their thing whenever they get wind of this. But it's by, this article is from PC Gamer by Jody McGregor, published 2 days ago. 3D Sen is on sale now. It says, in quotes, ROMs not included, obviously, because that would be illegal if you were to download ROMs through the internet.
Gotta say that.
But this is probably the more impressive of those who grew up on the NES. But even I, a Zelda hating grouch, think it's kind of neat to see Ninja Gaiden in voxels instead of pixels, and with a camera you can move around. 3D Sen, the emulator that lets you play 2D NES games in 3D. Its programmers have to create a custom profile for it to work its magic for each game, which means there are currently 100 supported games, including Contra, Super Mario Bros., Batman, Castlevania, Bubble Bobble, and Gradius, which that's the one I want to play, is I want to play Gradius in 3D, even though there's a Gradius Origins game coming out with a collection. I'm a big Life Force guy. So you get anywhere in that realm of stuff, I'm a big fan. As well as being able to perform its 3D wizardry, 3D Sen comes with handy modern emulator features like quick save, rollback, and fast forward, so you can whiz through a bunch of grinding in Final Fantasy 4 or whatever. What do you guys think of that? What's your initial thoughts when you hear NES games in 3D? Also, a wild statement that is just easy to, especially with 100 supported games. Andy, what are your thoughts on something like that?
Well, when I first saw that, my first thought was how do you do that? And it said that they have to create a custom profile or something, but it doesn't really go into detail about how they make it work. So just, I'd love to know more information on exactly how it works. I watched the trailer, which showed some of the games being played in 3D, and it was pretty crazy. Like especially some of the ones, like Punch Out, like really would look good in a 3D space. Um, it was kind of wild. Um, and then they showed ones that just had text and they were just moving the text around. And I'm like, okay, this isn't. I don't. I don't really
That's
care
3D.
about this. but
Ah,
I mean,
technically.
yes, yes, but I would not be. Oh, I can't read what's going on. No. Um, but yeah, that was my first thought. I'd still love to know more about how it works. I don't think Nintendo can stop these people from selling just the emulator,
Right.
um, because they're not doing anything
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wrong or
it does say
illegal.
here. It says
Yeah.
3D Sen was the first emulator sold for actual money on Steam. Has been available there for an early access form for 5 years. So presumably it's safe from the lawyers, question mark. Says that emulators aren't illegal and you don't have to provide you do have to provide your own ROMs. So,
Mhm.
right? I mean, emulators aren't and have never been illegal. It's always the act of downloading the ROMs and the files for those, and that's really what gets people in trouble is that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, Dan, what do you got? Do you think that's how? What is this? First off, the technology behind it, like Andy said, is probably pretty magical, right? I wonder how long it takes. Is it just simple as maybe AI is a good, maybe it helps with this like tedious shit. I don't know what it is, but what are your thoughts when you think of some of these NES
My
games that you love maybe being played in 3D?
my first thought, I guess, you kind of answered. I didn't realize it's been out for 5 years. I was gonna say it sounds like a whole lot of work for ultimately nothing because Nintendo's got a history of, I mean, absolutely stamping out anything that has to do with their games. But to your
Mm-hmm.
point, I guess the emulator itself is not illegal.
Yeah.
So assuming that Nintendo doesn't find a way to somehow, crack down. I mean, they crack down hard on when they can find where ROMs are of theirs on the internet, right? I mean, but assuming they can't
Yeah.
stamp them all out,
Right.
it's impressive. It's an impressive feat. I mean, and like Andy said, I mean, I mean, even if they explained how it worked behind it, I probably wouldn't understand it in to the degree that it would be appreciated. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's great, and I think it's great that it seems like it's safe from all the legal nonsense that
Right.
goes around with that. So if people want to do whatever they do to find ways to play it,
Mm-hmm.
whatever those things are, that you can have a unique experience,
Well,
with some of those games.
there's so many different ways to, when they say find your own, right? So what they mean is there's obviously different technology to allow you to actually rip the files, right? From something, a physical copy of something that you own. There's plenty of, that's the way a lot of people with the Switch were doing it with the different ways to the MIG Switch was a big one that you could it was one cartridge that you could put into your Nintendo Switch and it would have all the game files on one for all the stuff that you own, but you did have to actually put them on it first, right? But the point that I wanted to bring, and I'm a big fan of this. This is awesome. But John, you mentioned emulation in general, with it being uh, the main point of why you're such a fan being preservation. Does this qualify as preservation, or do you think this is a step further of just bringing it to maybe like a I don't know, just a cosmetic thing that goes with preservation as well? Do you think it just brings it to maybe to modern audiences? Because it's not technically preservation. It is something completely new.
Right. It is something completely new. And so I think I would have a hard time putting it in that
Right.
bucket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm a fan of it. I don't care either way, because I think preservation needs
Sure.
to be handled like I think more. I wish the companies, I say the big three, but there's so many more like developers and publishers and things that have IPs that are just gone to the wayside. And GOG, which has been awesome. If you ever heard of their game preservation, like stuff that they do, it's massive. It's really, really cool. The things they do, they bring basically, they don't do anything about it. I think they might charge for the upgraded versions, but they just kind of go out on a whim, find some maybe like abandonware stuff, and it's like, oh, we can't sell this. They one of the games, Andy, was Alpha Protocol, right? They brought that to the modern audiences and in modern systems, right? Which is cool. I love that stuff. I think that's really cool. And I do want to see it more, so we'll have to see, hopefully. But what GOG does is fantastic. The game preservation, I wish more people kind of put that initiative forth, which is cool.
The article listed 6 games, I think, but then the hundred supported. It links you to Steam where it shows the list of the games. Currently looks like 101 on the list. You know, we're talking Tiny Toon Adventures, Burger Time, our Donkey Kong's, Duck Hunt, Adventure Island. You know, there's some staples in there.
They have both Tetris games, one from Nintendo and one from Tengen, which is awesome. Like that's really cool. And I can't imagine what that would look like. I played a 3D Tetris before. I'm alive, but like, I wonder what taking the original stuff from that and actually turning it into.
We know what 3D is, but like taking these games and trying to visualize it in a 3D format is like my brain is not braining, like trying to like, okay, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but in a 3D, 3D mode. It's like, I want to see this.
Yeah, I think it's really, really cool. I might, because I do have my ROMs and things like that from my actual, obviously, hardware that I have. So it would be really, really cool to see. I might try to test it out. It's going to cost me $9. They do have VR support for this as well, which is kind of crazy. Which is going to cost, I think, what did it say, $15 for that version, for the VR version. So not bad. I mean, a $9 test to play some of my old games that I've liked, and that seems like that list is going to grow of supported games too. So that'll be cool. Next on the docket, this one's just a quick one that I wanted to point out. I think Andy's a pretty big Sonic guy as well. But there is a fan-made 3v3 Sonic fighting game that somebody just made, a passion project, if you will. There's a trailer out for it, which I will put in the description, obviously, of this channel or this episode when it goes live. But that's crazy. I played Sonic Fighters. I played that back in the day, but like this is the year of tag fighting, team fighting games. So it's really, really fascinating to me. I think that tag's going to be really cool. And obviously they can't you can't charge for this because it is obviously IP of not them. But I think it's called Ultimate Sonic Smackdown. You just basically, to play it, have to join this person's Discord. They'll give you, I think, probably a download in there, and then you can play it from there. So it's just kind of a cool aspect for that. Andy, maybe someday we'll have to play that. That'd be a lot of fun. Good time there.
Yeah.
By the way, you should tell the viewers what you were for Halloween last year.
I was the Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik. He wasn't bald yet when he had his comb over, had the goggles on his head. It was fantastic. I had a mustache. It was great. It was fantastic. And I still have the jacket. I did forget. I'm pissed. I forgot to wear the jacket to the Sonic movie, the latest Sonic movie. And I was real mad that I forgot to wear it, but, good stuff. So yeah, that was just a quick one. And have you guys heard of this new game? It's a co-op climbing game called Peak.
I had not heard about it yet. No.
So you guys are familiar with Dan Repo, games like Repo, games like Content Warning, Lethal Company, like those kind of games.
Wish we would play those two.
I know. Those are two. Repo for us was like this. We got a group of us, it skyrocketed. And then we were like weekend. We played it for a weekend. We played it for another weekend. And then everybody just kind of was like, we're good. And just stopped playing it. Right. Which is what these games kind of are. It's a flash in the pan. I feel
ready
like
to play.
I know you are. You actually love that game.
They got new maps. They got new powers. They got all kinds of new stuff.
Right. They are adding content, which is great. As far as Content Warning and Lethal Company, I'm not sure how much content they've added to that, but Repo seems to be doing a good job and getting a lot of feedback from people, which is cool. But along this line, I'm going to swap over here real quick. But I wanted to bring this up. Basically, this is called Peak. There's some screenshots of it as well. This is a game. It's a co-op climbing game where it's kind of like any of those other games where you're supposed to take a group, climb up as best that you can. But obviously if you fall, you're going to fall. And the reason I think this is so fantastic is because, I have officially become, one with the Peak TikTok, algorithm. So I'm getting edits left and right of this game and it's fucking fantastic. So if you get a chance, look it up on TikTok or any of those, or your Facebook TikToks that, you know, John, you kind of go with, you don't want to go anywhere else. But
FaceTime.
the reason I
TikTok.
wanted to bring it up is because it sold 1 million copies already. And like, I think what was the article here?
Less than a week.
Yeah, in less than a week, which is crazy, right? That's crazy. It's probably not very expensive.
$8.
$8. That's it. Man, I love when these games kind of just work out the way that they do, right? When these smaller games come out, and which can get us into a pricing conversation, but we don't have to do that. You know, AAA, I don't think is really sustainable anymore with hundreds of millions of dollars and doing all that kind of stuff. You're not going to get your money back anymore. Making video games is more expensive than if it's ever been. I just think the pricing is not always like, oh, we need to charge you $80 to get our money back. It's like,
Look at Schedule 1.
Exactly. I don't think you do, right? A lot of those games that we talked about, Repo, Content Warning, Lethal Company, Peak is a big one. You don't need to do that. I know these are smaller teams. This team specifically is the one who did the totally accurate battle simulator developer, Landfall. So this comes from them. So it's not like they haven't released a game in the past, but it's cool to see these smaller studios kind of break out and be hits, right, for the year. But this is one of those content games that you're probably going to see around a lot. I would watch the trailer. I don't know what that is, but we're not going to click that. But it would be one of those things where the four of us could jump in, have a good time. You're just an absolute fun time for a weekend, create some good content around it, and then move on. Today's day and age with, I don't know if you guys have seen YouTube videos or watch any live streams of those kind of games with people are collabing and they're playing these games a lot, but that's where a lot of the big time content, I keep going back to, Dan, you can mention this, Queso, Jinxie, and Sketch, like the three of them playing any game is just entertaining enough, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I laughed the hardest I've laughed in a long time watching them play Repo and watching them play Content Warning.
Mm-hmm.
And then even like they played Siege, right? Which is okay, it's funny, but like that's the kind of, to go to show you, like it wasn't nearly as funny as these other smaller like indie flash in the pan games. Like those collabs were. Oh, and Phasmophobia, which I know
that's a big one too.
That's been up and down. Like it was big a little while back, and then it kind of faded away and came back. But same thing, right? Like not AAA budget games, and like it was hysterical.
Yeah. It's cool to see those games pop up, and I just wanted to shout that out because that's pretty fantastic. Let's get to the next topic here. So I'm going to talk about this game because I had a fantastic experience. I know this has come a long way, but this game is called, it's a little game. Maybe you've heard of it. Cyberpunk 2077. Maybe you've heard of it. I don't know if anybody's heard of that game or not, but
maybe
when it was released, didn't really come out to raving reviews, right?
It did not. I got it right away. And
you played it on Xbox?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And what was it? 10 minutes in, all the audio from my save files was gone, so I had no audio in the game forever. So I had to start over.
So, yet there are endless stories of those who have struggled with this game when it released and different things, and in the state that it released. And we're not the first and probably or the last people to talk about it. This year's Cyberpunk 2077 is Mind's Eye. So if you're ever curious what that is, go look that up. You'll figure that out for yourself. But they're going to be, they're putting out kind of a little bit of hints, if you will, for the Cyberpunk 2077 sequel. And this one says a quote kind of came from a developer, that the sequel features a second city that's like Chicago gone wrong, says the series creator, which is going to be fantastic. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And this one is, what's that?
So Chicago.
Yeah.
Current Chicago.
Right. So yeah. So not maybe gone wrong, but current state, right?
Yeah, Chicago. Any given day, it's gone wrong.
Mind you, CD Projekt Red has come back and they've actually taken their they've gotten their praise for turning that game around, right? The Phantom Liberty was well received after they had fixed the game. They didn't give up on it. They did all the stuff and actually brought it back to what it needed to be, which is great. That's what we love to see. Difference. Yeah, exactly. That's what you love to see, is a comeback, almost like a comeback tale, if you will, which is really cool. I didn't have near the experience that a lot of people did. My game pretty much ran well. I don't know if I was lucky. I don't know what happened, but I had a great time. I didn't run into a whole lot of bugs, if any, to be honest with you. So when people talk about it, I can't relate, which is crazy to me that Dan even said, I lost all the audio in my game. That's wild shit. Like, that's just stuff that doesn't happen, right? You guys excited for a CM Punk? Jesus Christ, I'm in my wrestling era right now. Holy cow. Are you excited? I'll go with you last, Dan, because I think you and I are probably at the higher level here. But John, I know you're not the big RPG open world survival like cyberpunk theme, but I also know that you like
Sims open world.
Sims is not open world. Don't ever say that again.
Sims 3 was. Hey, Sims 3.
Not really. Not. Oh yeah.
I broke the show.
Hold on. Sims 3 is open world. I'm going to look this up because you broke my brain.
I'd like to talk about my favorite open world game, Super Mario Brothers. Where every level is just hours of exploration.
Sims 3 is a notable. Oh, go ahead.
My favorite open world game, Sim City.
You
can see the whole
city. Sim City 2013, right? That one?
Yeah. Hey, it wasn't that bad of a game.
Okay.
Yeah, when it worked.
I'm going to give.
Yeah, right,
it worked.
I'm going to go back to this position.
I'm going to give you a little bit of praise here, okay? Allowing Sims to explore the entire neighborhood without loading screens or individual lots or locations within that world, period. This open world system, introduced in 2009, fundamentally changed gameplay compared to previous Sim titles.
So it's open neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah,
open neighborhood.
Basically. I don't think it's not a world, but also are open world games even open world? No, it's open region, right? Technically, if we're going to be technical about a lot of this shit.
There you go. Call it what
it's an open world system, which I will give you. So I apologize for walking off in anger, coming back to then give you your flowers. So I appreciate that. But holy shit, let's get back to this thing that I was reading. But I was mentioning that you're not necessarily open world. I'm trying to think of the last game that you poured hours and hours and hours into, like an immersive open world game like that. And part of me goes to like The Godfather, right? But I don't know if you played Red Dead 2. Maybe you played Red Dead 2. I don't know if you did. 5. GTA 5, yeah, that's a good one too, and that's even dated. So
yeah. I did both of them.
So you're fairly familiar. Is Cyberpunk any kind of exciting like setting or game style to you?
Doesn't move my needle at all.
Got you. Is it a genre thing?
I don't know.
Or is it first person? Because it is a first person game.
Nope. I just never gave it the time of day.
Okay, that's fair. I'm just curious because like Red Dead is a third person open world. That's what you expect from a Rockstar game.
Yeah, but I think Red Dead's. I think I like the Western idea.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Captivated me. I'm not big on futuristic, and I don't even know if Cyberpunk is at all.
It's sci-fi. Yeah, it is.
It kind of smells like future.
They call it
so from there.
Neo-Asian futurism, I think.
What does the future smell like, John?
I don't like it because I stay away from it.
Because I don't like it. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So you're
Can't-
firmly at a 0 if you were to go on a scale of 1 to
does
10
nothing.
or a 0 to
Does
10.
nothing.
Okay. You're like, great, another game that exists. Cool. Andy, what about you?
Yep.
Yeah, I all played Cyberpunk day one on my Xbox. I didn't have any issues either. Uh, I guess I kind of consider myself lucky.
Yeah, we're in rare
Um,
company apparently.
Yeah. So I enjoyed my playthrough. I'm actually in the middle of Phantom Liberty. That's
Oh, cool.
probably should be the next thing that I finish.
Very
Now that
nice.
you mention it. Um, and um, I would put it at a solid 8, 9. For a sequel to Cyberpunk.
We're not going to see that game until after Witcher 4, right? So I mean,
I assume so.
yeah, that's going to be, they're going to probably spread it out. And obviously they got their team spread out working on different stuff. I'm sure they're working on it. I think they announced in 2022 that it was being worked on. So, Dan, let's hop it over to you, man. What do you got? What's your hype level for it?
I mean, I'm up there too, like a 9 or a 10. Like if you would have asked me, I guess being in the group of people that didn't have a stellar experience day one, I would have been at like a 0. But
Yeah.
having gone back, I beat it. I played it and beat it before Phantom Liberty was out. Like again,
Mm-hmm.
like I played it through, and when it was working after all the patches, whatever, and loved it.
Nice.
I've gone through, and I'm like 80% of the way through Phantom Liberty.
Oh, cool. Very cool. So you got it fresh. That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
and have enjoyed it again. Like, I mean, enjoyed it as much going through it again, right? With that,
Right.
so like, because I played it. Some of the stuff, like some of the choices I made, it kept the same. Some things, you do different. Like, and they completely redid like the stat, like how your skill trees were and all that
Mhm.
from when it launched
yeah.
to like now. Like, so it was like two totally different experiences in playing it. Both all the way through before that and after.
As
So
the one
I'm-
as the one in this group that had the obviously a worse experience than Andy and I, did you lose like I know you garnered your trust back for them because of your second playthrough, right? So do you think they've learned their lesson? They're not going to let that shit kind of happen again, especially with The Witcher and probably the sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope not. And to be fair, when I went to play it, like I knew there had already been reports, right, that this was going on. So like it was obviously a risk. But I think going into that game, I think that studio had a pretty stellar reputation, right?
Could do no
they-
wrong. Yep.
Yeah, they were just, and this was kind of like a shock to a lot of people that like, how did they let something like this, given what they've done in the past, come out? And
Yeah.
like, I think it brought a lot of things into reality. Like this, it's going to happen, right? With people, like just stuff happens, right?
Right.
Nobody's infallible, right? But they did all the right things to make it right? Which is what's important.
Yeah.
And they didn't really try to like, oh, we don't know, like,
Yeah.
oops, like,
I'm
I think that
firmly
goes
in
a long
the
way in itself.
I'm firmly in the camp that, granted, my experience, Andy's experience were much different, but that's one of the better games I've played. If you just take the story alone, right? And the notoriety of Keanu Reeves in that game it's just that he's attached to it.
Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, which is crazy, right? You never like that. Almost feels like it kicked off the big name. You know what I mean? That feel, or like, I don't know.
They had an Idris Elba.
Yeah, right. Which is crazy, right? So like they just topped it on top of that. They were like, look, we can do it even more with bigger
And
Hollywood actors.
Rick Ross at the
Yeah,
beginning.
You can't forget about Rick. Yeah, Rick Ross, of course. Yeah,
I don't know if that's actually Rick Ross. I'm
it's
just
not.
talking about
It's not Rick Ross. But yeah, I think I myself, I'm up there with you. Had a great experience, so it's always been high. One game that I've started 4 times and I have not finished is The Witcher 3. I know that's saying a lot for especially,
game.
And that's one thing that I think that's on my never ending backlog, right? Is Witcher 3 is to finally play through and beat it.
And all the DLC twice.
Right.
You'll get lost in Gwent. I spent more time playing Gwent than.
Thank God they made it its own thing. You know what I mean? So you don't have to. You can just play it not in the game, but then.
It's not as good as it is in the game. I don't know what they did to it. They kind of.
That's fair.
But you, like, I can't tell you how many times I had to I saved. There's a tournament in it where I was like, I gotta win the tournament. So it's like after everyone's saved, and if I lose, quit, restart, reload. Like, it's
Yeah.
addicting.
Yeah, it's cool when those games have those mini games added to them, and you're like, this is a game within a game. I think Valhalla was the same for me. I can't remember the name of that game that they played. It was a dice game.
Oh yeah, I know what you're
I
talking
can't
about.
remember what it
Yeah.
was called, but it was a lot of fun, and
I know what you're talking
loved
about.
it.
Yeah, you had to get like the axe or the shield
Yeah,
or the
exactly.
helmet. Yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
fun. I loved it. But for me, Cyberpunk.
Some sort of card game in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic way back.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
with the number game. Like, it's like you had
Yeah.
to get like certain. Yes,
man, I
they
love
had
when
it.
they
They
do
had
that.
it. They had it in Final Fantasy, and like I remember an triple triad, where like
Ah.
you had like monsters with they had number things on the sides. You had to like stack them, and if theirs was higher than yours, it would flip them like to both of your opponents.
There's some
so many
version of
games.
that. There's some version
Yeah,
of
and
that
a
now
lot of great games
in the new ones. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But I think Cyberpunk for me is I'm really, really excited for it. I know it's a ways away, and that doesn't mean I'm like, oh, I need it soon. Take your time, make sure the game's good. There's 19,000 games released on Steam last year. We have things to play. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? So Cyberpunk sequel should be fantastic. Hopefully it's kind of sticking to that thing there of what the creator originally said. And by the way, this comes from the tabletop RPG creator that said this about the sequel that's being made, which is kind of cool.
Jordan, that game was called Orlog.
Orlog, there it is. Oh, I love that stuff so much. So good. Last but not least, before we wrap it up for this episode 2 of Split Screen Podcast, a little game I've played on many different screens, different sizes. Fallout Shelter. Downloaded 230 million times, which is a lot of times, right? Maybe half of those is me when I've uninstalled it and then reinstalled it. But that's a lot in over 10 years, which is crazy because that game is actually massively successful. It kind of asks the question, does it need a sequel? Does it need a follow-up, or does it just need to exist in what it is? Right. Any of you three jump into the Fallout Shelter? I know, John, I don't think you kind of hopped into Fallout Shelter.
A handful of times.
If it wasn't Farmville, I don't think you messed with it, right?
Mafia Wars,
like
Mafia Wars,
mobile games.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a poop game, and that was my poop game for a little bit, right? I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true for everybody else, but like, I always have a poop game. Right now, it's Mahjong, Microsoft Mahjong. Like, you know what I mean? It's just is what it is. But
so if I see you playing that, it means you're on the shitter.
Yeah, you're like, he's pooping right now. Nice, hell yeah. Peek behind the curtain, nice. I guess, right?
No, I never did. I never got into the Fallout Shelter. I'm looking at the article though that you're referencing, and I see this picture, and my mind immediately goes to Minecraft because I'm like, ooh, that'd be an interesting.
I see what you mean.
Build something that I do enjoy, Minecraft. So taking something like that, the idea of like building into a mountain and being underground. So
I see what you mean.
That would be my interest, is taking another game and stripping it down to making it Minecraftable.
I get you. No, I understand what you mean. There could be a cool angle.
Yeah, Minecraft Shelter.
Boom, exactly. How great is that? But I feel like you have not played Minecraft, and this is going off the rails. This is kind of just a quick hit anyways with Fallout Shelter. That's just kind of pointing it out. But with Minecraft specifically, you didn't dip your toes into dungeons, right?
Correct.
And you didn't dip your toes into Legends.
Correct.
What would make you want to dip your toes into this?
Into what? Fallout Shelter?
Well, no. I mean, Minecraft. Your theoretical Minecraft Shelter. Is it because it would be a poop game?
No. I'm not saying Minecraft Shelter. I'm saying I see this image and I go, oh, that would be fun to build in Minecraft.
Okay. We're often different.
Even dumber.
I thought you were thinking, a cool Minecraft aesthetic, but in that style would be cool. I thought that's what you were going.
Thought.
You were like, ooh, I want to build that inside of a mountain in
I want
Minecraft.
to build a
Yeah,
fallout
I could
shelter in
take-
Minecraft.
I get it. I get it. I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now it's fine. Now that's cool because you like Minecraft more than the three of us. So I'm glad
little
I
bit.
didn't mistake, but now I kind of retract my whole like you didn't play Dungeons, you didn't play Legends. Why are you gonna play Minecraft? Yeah. Anyways,
I was wondering where you were going with
I'll
that.
say yeah because we didn't. We were both here. But I think Fallout Shelter is what it is. It's a fantastic. Do you guys have a poop game right now? Dan, do you have a poop game?
I do not at the moment. No.
No. Okay. Andy, do you have a poop game?
He reads the shampoo bottles.
Um,
He doesn't bring his phone.
I
in.
don't.
I usually
games
scroll
on
YouTube.
mobile that I play, but not specifically only when I poop.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um,
I'm the only one with a poop game. You got it. That's what I'm hearing.
specifically
no.
for pooping, yes, I don't have a game.
All right.
I do not have a game specifically for
I'm-
pooping.
I'm looking down on my phone right now. Let's see. I've got the New York Times games, those puzzles that come out every day. Those get me.
Oh, okay. Like
Call of
Wordle, and all those.
Oh yeah, Wordle connections.
Yeah,
Strands, mini crossword.
It
Yeah, I love
qualifies.
those.
Qualifies as a poop game.
Triple goods is one that I play.
What's
That's
that?
like a bunch of it's a match one where you just have
Three
to
like terms.
match the shell. Yeah, exactly. It's just a match game. Clue Master.
Why'd you
that's one
struggle so hard with that?
Too much on the mind.
You match things.
It turns out that's all you do. It's just simple match.
The thing with the
Clue
other thing,
Master.
and they look the same.
Clue Master. Here's the thing:
Master's a good
it's a
one.
game about clues.
It's
And you master.
logic. It's a logic puzzle. And I like that one. So it's the board of like a bunch of people, like 20 people or so, and like 8 of them are criminals, and it flips over like one person and they have like a clue about something else, so other people on the board. So you have to use logic to find all of
Gotcha.
the criminals.
Dan, throw your hand in front of your camera.
That's a good one.
John still.
Well, hold it there. Hold it there. And let it focus. Now let
There we
go.
I don't know what's going on.
It's got to find your face. That's what it has to do. That's generally the thing. That's all right. You're beautiful. You're beautiful, blurry or not.
Camera's done with you.
Yeah. It's like it's tired. We got to shut off. Maybe it's too hot in your house. You know what I mean?
Heating up again.
But that's really it for episode 2. We appreciate everybody kind of hanging around. That's a thing. Hey, there you go. Look at that. I fixed it. But we do appreciate you. If you stuck around for this entire episode, it's a lot shorter than the last one. So we appreciate it. Half the time, actually.
Tell us your favorite poop games.
Yeah. If you have a poop game, let us know in the comments. We'd love to know them, know what they are. So, I actually at one time had a poop game folder where I had all my games, and that's what it was titled, Poop Games. I think Fallout Shelter was in there. I was also playing the Plants vs. Zombies game was in there. Mahjong was in there. Solitaire was in there for a very short period of time, but I never got into Clash of Clans. Never got into like those other ones. What is it? What is it? Something Royale.
Clan Royale or Clash Royale. It's
Yeah,
something.
Clash Royale, whatever the hell it is. All those time management games. Not a big fan. But thank you so much. Let us know what your poop games are. Dan, give me a send off. Let them know where people can find you, dude. Let them know where people, hey, what you're doing. What's going on with your life, man? What's going on? Your wife and kids, how are they doing?
Oh, yeah, you can find me at home with my wife and kids, just hanging out.
Oh, fantastic. Andy, what about you, man? What's going on with your life? Let people know where they can find you, what you're into, all that fantastic. Give me a sign out, dude. Go ahead. You actually have wife and kids, so.
Yeah, you can find me with my wife and kids at home most of the time.
I love that.
Games if I'm not asleep or doing this podcast.
I love
You
it.
can find me with everybody else's wives and kids and families.
Unless they just up and go to South
You can
Carolina
also
and
find Dan
leave
here
you
with
for
my
Boston
wife
for a
and kids.
weekend.
All right, John, what about you? Where can people find you? What are you up to? What do you got coming out? What are you working on?
Hey, people are going to find me at Leprechaun Bomb on YouTube doing the simulators. We got LB's behind us, got the supermarket, working on that. We're at the end game. Next couple episodes going out, I finish up the last licenses there. All we got left is just expanding the store, making it bigger, which costs way too much money. So it's grind now at the end game.
You do a lot of
it's real fun.
off camera. Don't you do a lot of off camera, like grinding part too?
I have been lately, yeah, because I just feel like it's just too boring,
It's a
too
slog.
tedious, too
Yep.
monotonous. It's too much of a slog to put somebody through. Like
Yeah.
one complete in-game day takes almost an hour.
Or you just
and
fast
so
forward it.
that's like, I mean, yeah, I could just
Make
fast
people
forward
violently
it.
ill.
Yep, just edit it, just fast forward it times 1,000 speed, and
Yeah,
just
that's-
hey, there we go, zip through it.
All right, let's hit the open sign. Let's flip it over, and we're done. All right,
And we're closed.
and we're closed now.
We got $3 million now. We need 5.
Yep. But
Good
yep,
deal.
Yep. Hope y'all take care of yourselves.
Yeah. Any other games you have you're looking forward to maybe adding to your channel of playthroughs?
Matter of fact, yeah. I found a Facebook TikTok the other day shot in of some game called Big Ambitions, which is a couple years old. It's not a new game by any stretch.
Okay.
But it's right up my simulator alley.
Oh.
Apparently they drop you in New York and you get to do your thing. You get to just sort of you get an apartment, you got to go to work, you got to
Dan's shaking his head.
establish your own business.
Big Ambitions is a revolutionary role-playing business sim. Go from nothing to the biggest entrepreneur in New York by opening small businesses or slowly building huge corporations any way you like.
Hell yeah.
The
Oh, that's
Elby's
fantastic.
empire
It's
is only
growing.
getting started. It's
Oh,
only
man.
getting started.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's an
If
early
anybody
access
wants
game.
to
That's cool.
know- If anybody
Nice.
wants to know the lore behind the name Elby's, again, shoot a comment, and I'd be happy to explain that in episode 3.
Hell yeah. Yep.
Leave that as
Definitely.
a teaser.
If not, I'll leave the contact information and where they can find you in your channel in the description. So if not, they'll be able to ask you one way or another.
I'd be happy to explain it. It's a great story.
Yeah, it is. Yes, we've heard it on a couple different occasions. But I appreciate everybody.
Itching for a reminder.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for hanging out. If you stuck around this late, thank you so much. Of course, let us know what your thoughts are. Maybe some news topics we can look at in the future, and what to kind of expect from there. But we appreciate you. Again, a little bit of a teaser. We're going to be doing a sports podcast coming up as well. Just more conversations we would have off camera that we're just going to put on camera and have a good time with. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for sticking around, and we will see you on episode 3. See you, everybody. Have a good one. Thanks.